Hello, welcome to Wandering Drew. I am Drew. On today's episode, we're going to continue our discussion regarding beginning hiking. Over the past couple of episodes, we've gone from contemplating going hiking to some factors that we need to consider when we're planning the process of starting hiking, to looking for what features we need in a beginning trail to start. And last week we discussed how to find that trail and do the research online. So you've done all these steps now. You've figured out where you need to go, where you're going to go hopefully, or where you're looking at going, and you're getting ready to go. If you followed some of my recommendations, your first trail may be something as simple as going to a parking lot and going for a walk. And you probably really don't need much to do that, except perhaps a bottle of water to hydrate yourself while you're doing it, especially if you're keeping your distance low. But if some of you are doing a little longer distance, or you're looking at more hikes in the future, maybe your second and third hike, I'd like you to consider bringing some equipment along. And when you start every hobby, you know there's always specialized equipment you need to buy, and there's always some expense involved. However, I'm going to break with most people on this and go away from the herd. There's really no reason to go out and buy a lot of equipment when you're first starting out. That can come later on if it's something you decide you want to continue to do, and as the need arises. So I'm going to show you how to get started on hiking with minimal equipment. However, I still think, even though you're going for a very easy trail and it's not going to be very complicated, I still think that you should bring some equipment with you. It's wise to do that, to be properly prepared, at least minimally, and it also sets you up and prepares you for thinking safety and gear-wise for future hikes. You may already have what you need to start hiking in your house already. Well, let's go through a couple of pieces of equipment, and there's not that many, but it will get you out there started and set you up for the future. Your first and most important piece of equipment when you're going hiking is, surprise to no one, footwear. You need to have a good pair of sneakers or boots or trail runners or whatever you're going to have to use. However, for your first hike or two, if you've picked a good trail, it's not going to be very technical. You don't need specialized equipment to go out walking, okay? But since we are walking, our feet are the primary means of getting us where we're going, so it's obvious that footwear is the most important thing. So what I'm going to suggest you do is, if you're going to spend any money, you spend it on footwear. If you don't have any good footwear that's made for walking distances, a nice pair of sneakers or trail runners, then I would suggest you go out, and that's where you maybe spend your money. You don't need boots. However, depending on what you're wearing normally, you may need to go out and spend that. And I'm going to bring some stuff in here. These are not sneakers that you probably want to go hiking out. Yeah, you may be able to go hiking with these. However, I would recommend you don't go hiking in these. They're probably not very comfortable for long distances, and they're not going to give you great traction on any type of slippery surface. They might be good for hanging around town, but they're not good for trails. Okay, my suggestion would be, if you have any type of sneaker or a trail runner or something of the like, you're good with that. A running shoe might be a little thin. You might want to be careful, especially if you're going to be someplace where there might be some rocks. But I would suggest any normal pair of sneakers you have already is what you want to do. Once again, you don't want to go out and spend a lot of money on this. So these would be fine. Another example, these are ones I personally wear. I've taken on the trail. I've worn them all different types of weather. You don't have to buy this brand. I'm saying any type of trail runner by any one of the major brands will get you where you need to go. Unless you already happen to have a pair of boots and you like wearing them, they're comfortable, broken in, my suggestion, you don't need to go out and buy boots to go walking on the trail. However, I do have, they're mid-length, they're not real high boots. A pair like these that I do take out hiking sometimes, but that's usually on more technical trails. You don't need these to go hiking on a beginning path. However, if you do have something like weak ankles, or you're prone to injuring or turning an ankle, You may want these. As you lace these up, these will provide more support for you and reduce the chance of you getting an ankle injury. If you do go out and buy shoes or some sort of boot or anything, you wear them around your house. You should not be taking them out of the box and walking out on the trail. You may be perfectly fine, but how do you know they're really going to be good for you? How do you know they're going to fit you? How do you know that they're not going to cause problems? It's very, very hard. You try a shoe on sometimes in the store, you wear it for all of 30 seconds or a minute, you walk around once or twice, and you say, okay, it feels good. But there's no way you're going to know how you're going to feel when you walk around in that shoe for a half hour or 2 miles. So it's very important to wear your shoe around your house to break them in. And the reason why you want to do that is so that you can try it out and break it in a little bit without getting it worn out or dirty. Most places have a return policy. They'll take the shoe back if it doesn't fit properly, or if you just doesn't work out for you, because it is hard to buy a shoe sometimes. However, if it's excessively worn or it's really dirty, like you took it out on a muddy trail, it's very, very hard to get that clean and to be able to return it. Most places will not return it then or not refund your full money. But if you do buy it and you just wear it around the house a little bit, doesn't get very dirty, doesn't get worn out, it doesn't show signs of major wear. Along with your footwear go socks. And this is the only other place that you might want to consider spending some money. However, you can just bring the socks you have. Most people have some sort of regular, like a tube sock, or what was popular in some athletic, just plain white socks. I know everyone that's in hiking always warns, don't bring cotton. There are many major brands. I happen to use several. These are darn tough socks. They're a little pricey, $20 to $25 a pair. Wait till they have a sale, or you can get a code online and you can order several pairs. They come in different thicknesses for what you're wearing. Obviously, you want to try your shoes on with this. Some of these are a little thick. This is not very light for a summer, and it's very thin, not a lot of cushioning, but they do make thicker socks. And if you're going to buy a real thick sock and try and put it in your shoe, you might have trouble actually with your shoe because the sock is so thick. Socks, you can find them through Amazon, or you can buy them on the internet directly from the company or other retailers. Smartwool is another company other than Darn Tough that makes socks, and there's several others. These are just the ones that I happen to have. I have a couple more that I don't generally wear, I don't like. They don't seem to have good durability. I might wear them for like 1 or 2 hikes, and then I notice that they don't hold up. They start tearing or ripping, or they just don't actually stay up. You should be taking with you while hiking is some sort of backpack. Now, I don't mean a backpack for hiking necessarily, or a large frame or something very heavy. I mean like a little day pack, something that you might see a kid taking to school, something along that order. You don't have to spend, you just want something that you can put a couple of things in that you're going to be taking with you, nothing big. But if you're going to go out and buy something, I would plan for the future. And I would suggest that you don't go out and buy something, you just use what you already have on hand. However, personally, and I'm going to recommend that you do not take something that the kids all call a drawstring bag. This is not good to hike in, although I have seen people do it, especially kids. They give these away because they're cheap, and that's why. They may be good for putting a couple items in and carrying, but they're not good for hiking. I don't like these small little ropes. They seem to dig in, especially if you have a lot of weight in them. You're going to be walking, stuff's going to be moving or bouncing. I would avoid them. A backpack, something like this that someone might take to school, would be fine for a day pack. You're not going to be bringing a lot of stuff. It's not going to be heavy. You don't need a large backpack to go for your first couple hikes. If you progress to going out for longer hikes and maybe you start gathering a little bit more equipment, then you can go out and buy a backpack that fits your needs for hiking. I used to do a lot of hiking, day hiking, with a regular backpack, like a JanSport, that was very lightweight, but had several pockets. And it was very good for me to carry whatever I needed to carry. One of the first items that I'm going to recommend that you stick inside that backpack, and the most important item that you're going to be carrying, is water. If you take nothing else on your first hike, I'm going to suggest that that thing is water. It's that important, and you should not really be going on a hike without it. You should always be taking some water with you. Even if it's a quick 1 to 2 mile hike, you should grab a bottle of water and take it with you. What I like to do is a regular water bottle. You don't have to go out and buy something special. This is a 16.9 fluid ounce bottle. and they're good if you don't like plain water. They make several different flavor packets that you could add to these. Some of them even have electrolytes, which are good. You don't have to go out and buy those things. It's just if you like flavor, or you feel that you can't drink regular water. A lot of people aren't used to drinking regular water, so they like a little flavor to it, and it'll ensure that you probably stay hydrated and drink more if the water tastes better. So these days, and most popular what you see on the trail a lot is smart water bottles. This is a 1.5 liter size. They make a 1 liter size. What I like about the 1 liter size, and I look for the ones that usually have the flip cap, because when you take the cap off, if it falls, you drop. One, you don't want to litter, but two, you lose it or it gets dirty. If you have the flip cap, it's very, very easy. You can drink out of it while you're walking, and you don't lose the cap, and you still have it, and you just snap it back, and you can reuse those bottles over and over. You have to keep buying new ones. If you're going to go hiking, usually you buy it once or twice, because they cost a little bit more, these bottles. These are very, very cheap. Go to Walmart and buy them, or somewhere else, CVS, anywhere. You can always get cold water. You can buy it on the way to the trail and just take it with you. But a 1 liter or a 1.5 liter bottle. But if I buy the ones with the flip cap, I generally tend to keep them for a hike or several hikes. And so I'm recycling them, keeping them clean, and it's better for me. Several years ago were Nalgene bottles. I've had several. This is one of the last few I have. They're semi-clear. They changed them. They used to all be really clear, and then they came out with the BPAs was all bad, so they redid all their line of, changed the plastic that was in it, and they changed to usually this, it's not see-through. I do like it because it is graduated. The only problem is this is heavy compared to this. Water is one of the heaviest things you're going to carry when you hike. So if you start hiking like this, now this bottle is actually pretty light, but this is even lighter. So I'd rather do this. But if you have one of these, for your first couple of hikes, there's nothing wrong with doing it. You're not going to be carrying that much stuff with you, that it's going to be so heavy that you can't use this. So they do make several of these type of things. This happens to be by Bear Grylls. It was a gift from someone. The aluminum ones, they're good, but they're very heavy, and or heavier, I should say. This one is pretty light, but it's not practical. Yet once again, it has a strap. You can hook it on or carry it, but I have a backpack for that. I can throw it in the backpack or in a pocket on the side of the backpack, and I can drink out of it, But you know what? I just find this to be so much easier, and it's readily available, so it's not really a problem. The last possible option you may want to do is if you like carrying a lot of water or you find you drink a lot, something like a bladder, Camelback. When you say Camelback now, it's a water bladder. This one happens to be made by Osprey, which matches the pack I have, and it's 2.5 liters. They make a 3 liter one. This is more than enough for a short hike. During the summer, I might need more, but what I like about it, once again, it is clear, see-through. You can fill it up. You put this in your backpack if you have a backpack that has a port for this, and it's right there on your strap as you're walking. And since it's right there, you tend to drink it and use it more, so you stay hydrated. These are actually very good, but once again, if you already have one of these, fine. But if not, don't go out and buy equipment just because you're going to go hiking. Go hiking, and then once you decide this is something you're going to do, then buy equipment. And then you'll have a little experience, so you know what you're looking for. You know what you tend to do. If you find the bottles are working for you, then just use them. Save your money. Even though this is not a lot of money, $25, $30, why spend $30 if you don't need to? There's other stuff that you may want to buy instead, and you can use the money on that. So, once again, use what you have already. I guaranteed you have these, or you can go out and get them and acquire them quite simply by just walking into any store and buying water. You can buy it. So that would be my suggestion for you. And take the water, stick it in your backpack. If you're going on a 2-3 mile hike, carry extra. Maybe your partner didn't plan properly and you bring extra, but the extra weight is not that much. So if I was going on a 2 or 3 mile hike, I probably would bring 3 of these. There's nothing wrong with having extra, maybe even 4 if I really wanted to, but there's nothing wrong with having extra water. If you don't use it, it's still good. You can drink it in the car, ride home, or if you turn out that you're using water more frequently, especially in your first hike, if it's during the summer or sometimes you're not used to how much water you're going to consume, it's better to have more than less, right? Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The next thing that you're going to want to bring with you, and is also going to go into your backpack, is going to be some snacks. Now, it's always good to bring some food. You're hiking, you may have just eaten lunch or breakfast, but it's good to have a little snack. Sometimes you feel a little tired, a little fatigued, and you just need a little pick-me-up. Plus, it's good to have with you anyway. Certain snacks are good. When you're hiking, you're burning calories, so you need some good food to go inside of you. It's very, very possible. And what I like, I don't normally eat a lot of candy or certain products, but when I'm hiking, I do because I know I'm burning them up. It's important to get that energy. And I'm always going to recommend some ways you can save money. You don't have to go out if you already have these things, or you may buy them anyway. Obviously, protein bars are really good. I've used Pure Protein for a while. You can get these at Walmart and things like that. They're not that expensive. You can buy like a 6-pack of them or 12, depending on the flavor you get. But you can bring these with you. They're individually packed. You can throw a couple in your bag and you have ample supplies. You don't need a lot. You're probably going to only need 1 or 2 snacks. Snickers bar. These things are like currency on most hiking trails. If you have some of these and you're willing to trade them, you can get just about anything you want from someone else. They'll trade their food away. They'll trade coffee. For some reason, these things are like gold and very, very popular among hikers. Some more popular snacks are the ones that really come to mind. You don't want something that needs to be refrigerated. Jerky, they come in the small packs, the little sticks. If you're not into that, I like to buy larger packs. And then what you can do is you can break these things down. You don't need to, well, first of all, it's resealable. So you can eat this a little bit now and eat it a little later. Always go hiking and camping and backpacking, and I don't think I've ever gone once without taking some sort of jerky. If you want to buy a bigger bag, and then you can repackage it into smaller bags, so it's in servings, and you don't have to carry the large bag. Not that I won't eat this. The problem is I will eat it. I don't want to carry it. So if I'm just going for an hour or 2 hike, I might just want to put a couple of pieces in here, enough for 1 snack, and save the bag. And that's a way to do it more affordable, because the smaller the package, the actual more expensive it is. So, and I'll do the same trick. You're going to be really popular with the Ziploc bags or sandwich bags. Is I'll even buy certain type of peanuts or nuts. If you buy a big bag or a big box of it, and you break it down into small servings, you now have something that's resealable and is portable and it weighs less. I might not want to go hiking carrying this. This is going to be pretty heavy. Even this is going to be pretty heavy. I might want to bring a little extra to share, but I don't want to carry this whole thing. So I'm going to package it in here. Cliff bars are very popular. Like I said, there are different flavors. You can bring them. They do make the trail mix. This is Walmart. You can buy a big bag and break it down. Raisins are another popular thing, some dried fruit, but they do make them in smaller bags that are already, and it's trail mix, so obviously it's good on the trail, right? They're already in small bags, and I actually carry these a lot when I hike now. I find this to be one of my go-to snacks, along with the Snicker bars every once in a while. Last time I hiked, I didn't even bring a Snicker bar. But I use these probably sometimes once or twice a day if I'm hiking. It has the peanuts and it has M&Ms in it, so I get the chocolate. And I just find that I really like that mix. And they make different kinds, so you don't have to, as you can tell, this is a different one, has different things, it has raisins. Sometimes you can find them with, cranberries or little dried apricots or whatever you want, different pieces. So you pick what you want. You can obviously always make your own. There's a lot of products that come now small and portable. These are almond butter. They do make peanut butter ones as well, but they come in small package, perfect for hiking. They're light, they're single serve. You can rip it open, you can use it on a sandwich if you're making that, or you can just eat it right out of this. This one's like, I love Nutella, it's great. And it's shelf stable, you don't have to worry about refrigerating this at all. So if you're out hiking in the summer, not a problem. If I was going out hiking and, maybe we plan a picnic at the same time, you can even stop and grab, a sandwich or a sub or a hoagie or a grinder, depending on where you're from. And you can just pack that in your backpack and take it with you. You're only going to be an hour or 2. It's not going to spoil whatever it is. And if you make it to, let's say, 2 miles in, you decide to stop for lunch or take your break, you can all break out your sandwiches, eat, clean up your garbage, throw it back in a pack, bring a little bag to throw it in, and then pack it back out. So not a big deal. Peanut butter and jelly is good, doesn't spoil, doesn't go bad, or just peanut butter if you want. These are all things you can take with you. Use your imagination. Obviously, you decide what's best for you. You know better than I do what you like and what you feel like doing. And, some people just bring, I've met people on the trail just bring an orange or an apple or banana, and they're happy with that, and that's perfect, Remember, hike your own hike, right? The next item that is important for you equipment-wise when you're going on your first hike, and that's clothing. Lately, I found I generally like to wear long pants and long sleeve shirts, and that's for protection from both, running into brush and bugs, as well as the sun. However, I have hiked in shorts before, and I have hiked in short sleeve shirts. Matter of fact, this shirt, in fact. So it's your choice what you want to bring. Do you need to go out and buy special hiking pants? These are some hiking pants. These were really popular years ago. They're still popular they still make them. They're called convertible because they're pants, but they convert into shorts. So you can zipper off the legs and you have basically two pairs. So I might wear these as shorts, but carry the legs inside my backpack. So I can cool off. I'm wearing shorts, but if I need to, if it gets chilly or it starts raining or for whatever reason, I can put the legs back on. And you can do that even usually with your boots on or your shoes on. If you're wearing shoes, usually you can still put those on and off without undressing. So that's an option that is, and some people may already have these, but if not, you can buy these. But once again, if you don't have these, don't go out and buy these just to do your hike. I'm just showing these as an option for when you do want to go to buy clothes, or if you feel you need to. You may already have these. I do like, the only thing I may suggest that you have is, depending on what you wear as undergarments for underwear, you may get some chafing if you're not used to walking far, depending on what you're wearing. So I usually wear some type of something spandex or something that's a little bit more fitting and gives a little bit more glide to it than just cotton or my skin. So these are like boxer briefs, they call them. There's all different brands. Starter makes them. There's a couple of brands that are really popular with hikers, but they're expensive. They're like $25, $30 a pair. You can go to Walmart or any other Target or any of these places and find something like this. You don't have to spend money or large money, and obviously you can wear these outside of hiking, but I generally tend to wear these because you are walking. Sometimes you're sweating and you don't want that friction. For a 2-mile hike, not a big deal. I probably don't need these, but if I'm going to do longer distances, I am. And this is just a different brand. This is Ex Officio, one of the more popular brands, and these are very expensive. You can find them on sale sometimes, but they run about $25 a pair or something. I've seen them as high as 30, so a little pricey. And is it really worth it? Depends on what you feel. You can go go hiking in your regular shorts, just like you would wear normally, or you'd work out in. I would say any workout gear is good gear. Okay, because you're all walking. It's like working out. So anything that's like dry fit or quick drying. However, if you're going on your first hike and you wear a cotton t-shirt, I know all the purists will not like that. But you know what? If you went hiking in a regular t-shirt, you'll be just fine. It's not going to make a difference. Everybody talks, oh, cotton's bad for you and everything. But for a t-shirt, for a short hike, 2 to 3, 4 miles, you'll be just fine. And I've done that. And I'm here to say, like I said, this is some longer sleeve shirts. They're very lightweight, more like what they would call a base layer during the winter, or during the summer. I could just wear this, or even during the spring or fall on like a cooler day. And it's long sleeve. And I've gone to long sleeve lately only because, like I said, I like to cover up from sun. And if I'm walking through brush, I don't want it to cut me but most trails you're going on, if they're very well marked and very well used, especially if it's like an attraction somewhere, it's a little wider and you don't have to worry about that. So, but if you don't know, you don't bring it. This is just another one. This is Under Armour. I'm partial to blue. I have a lot of blue stuff. But like I said, this is just, this is like a dry fit. It's a very light material. It dries fast when it gets wet. Your sweat evaporates much quicker and it glides. You don't have the same friction you have when you're wearing like a cotton t-shirt. So it's just a thought. But do you have to go out and buy special? No, you don't have to go out and buy special stuff. And a lot of this stuff you can find on clearance. REI has clearance sales all the time. When new stuff comes in, the old goes on sale. I buy a lot of my gear on sale when the new models come in for the next year. because the shirt's still good. It's just that it's not the latest one. So, and they'll do the same thing at like Walmart and Target and that, when the summer's over and they're getting rid of some of their summer stuff. Maybe that's the time to go buy stuff, just workout gear. Whenever it's on sale, you can go buy it. So that's my suggestion for clothes. I would suggest if you're going to bring clothes, or you're going to bring extra clothes, maybe an extra shirt or something like that, throw it in your backpack. It doesn't weigh that much. And you have something, if you get wet or you feel you need to change or something happens, you get ripped or torn, you can throw on another t-shirt or so. It's not a big deal to carry extra stuff. So it doesn't weigh very much. You're going to be carrying very little on your first hike. If it's colder weather, you want to plan a little bit more. You want to have layers. So you might want a jacket or something, like a sweater or something to pull over if it gets a little chilly. You may not realize, but depending on where you're going, if you're walking through like a valley or you come around the mountain, you may be exposed to where wind is coming through. You might get a little chill in you. So obviously you can plan best. You're watching the weather, you know what the temperatures are, plan for extra. It doesn't hurt to always have a jacket. Even during the summer, in very hot temperatures, if you get wet or it rains on you and then the wind picks up, you can get pretty chilly pretty fast. So it's better to have a jacket. The next piece of equipment that I'm going to recommend you have with you and take with you and throw it in your backpack, and it relates to clothing, is rain gear. This is the only other piece of equipment I would probably recommend that you have, even if you don't bring any other clothing at all, other than what you're wearing already. I would suggest you have rain gear for two reasons. One, even if there's no rain predicted, you want to have it. You want to be ready for it because occasionally the weatherman does get it wrong. If you get really wet, as I mentioned already, even in warm weather, if you get wet, you can still get very chilly with the wind picking up, and you don't want to risk getting that happen to you. During the winter, obviously, you don't want to get wet at all because it does lower the temperature, and it does make it very hard for you to stay warm, and that makes you uncomfortable. Even on a short hike, while walking, you could be chilly if it's cold weather already. Secondly, if you do get cold, even if it's not raining, you can throw it on, and most rain gear will actually block the wind and keep you warm. It's another layer that you can add, so I would recommend it. You don't have to go out and purchase separate rain gear, much like the other things I've discussed. Use what you have. Most people have some sort of rain gear. You may not, though. Not a lot of people don't have a dedicated rain jacket, to go out in the woods, something that's water repellent or resistant. They might have something that they wear, they carry an umbrella, so they don't have rain gear. Rain gear is not that expensive unless you want to spend money, but if you want to go on a cheap option, there's a company called Frog Togs, and they make rain gear that is really ultralight and ultra cheap. You can buy some of these, depending on the size, for male and females, that are in the anywhere from the $15 to $20 range. At the time I'm recording this in August, I just checked at Walmart today, and they have these in stock, and they were selling them for $20. I think it was $19.97 for an adult male pair of ultralight rain gear, and it comes with a complete shirt and shirt top and bottom. So you have rain pants, and I usually don't carry the rain pants, but sometimes they're so light. This weighs less than a pound altogether, that I will carry them sometimes. But you can see here's rain pants, and they're in a nice green color. They do make it in yellow, bright yellow. They make it in 4 or 5 different colors now. And for women, I believe they do have purple or pink. So if you're partial to that. So what I like about it is it has a hood. I think most rain gear without a hood is kind of useless because, one, if you're in a rainstorm, the rain will just be beating off your back and go down. So you're going to get all wet underneath your rain jacket. So if it doesn't have a hood, I think it's pretty much not very useful. For a light mist, you might not need the hood. You should be able to take it off. Some jackets have it inside, you have to pull it out. I do have a more expensive rain jacket, which I had to just look up today. I have it, it's discontinued now. They have different brands, but it is by a major supplier. I bought it on sale. It was $120, I think, which is, to me, exorbitantly priced for a rain jacket. And I think I paid less than $80 for it. It was like $78 And I have it for the last year or so. I currently have this Mountain Hardwear rain jacket, which I've had for about a year, maybe a year and a half. I've worn it several times on hikes. I do like it. Like I said, this will protect you from wind and rain as well. So it's a layering system that you can use if it's just warm weather, but wind comes through or rain comes through, maybe a storm. It helps keep you a little warm, blocks some of the wind. It does have a hood. This one doesn't attach. It folds in on itself, which is another feature I like. It packs down in one of its own pockets inside. And you'll notice the pockets, it's like a mesh inside that helps facilitate the heat caused by these things, because wearing these is like wearing a plastic bag sometimes. The frog togs, very much so, you're going to be hot. So if you can open up a little bit, in the front, it helps. It's got a little lining in it that makes it feel comfortable, so you're not wearing a plastic bag against your skin. These are not very durable. This does rip fairly easy if it gets caught on a branch or you stretch it or pull it, but it's easy to fix with some duct tape. And you will frequently see people wearing them with duct tape on the trail every once in a while to repair it. This is a little bit better, obviously a little more durable. It costs a lot more though too. So, I could have bought 4 pairs of the frog togs for 1 pair of this. The only good thing about dedicated rain gear, usually what you'll notice is, beside the increased breathability, it usually has vents. This one has vents in the back. Sometimes you'll notice crease. This one doesn't, but you'll notice like a flap with mesh in it, and it's covered, but it allows the air to exchange a little bit. And this one does have what they call pit zips, or zippered in the armpits, that you can open up, and this allows heat to get out. It's just an opening, literally an opening. Some of them will have mesh that prevents some moisture from getting in, but all those things impede the airflow. So since it's underneath here, you're generally not going to have water driving in. You may have some, but it's going to. The importance of having a hood is that without a hood, the rain is just going to hit you, it's going to wet you, and it's going to roll down. You're going to be soaking wet anyway from wearing something with no hood. So I would suggest you get something with a hood. And this is going to go in your pack. So the only thing that you have right now in your pack is some food, a snack, some water. Last item that I'm going to discuss is a first aid kit. And it's not going to be what you think. For a hike, especially a day hike or a beginning hike, you don't need elaborate stuff. You're not going to be doing any first aid on someone, like CPR, tourniquets, snake bite kit. All these things are not needed. My suggestion would be a couple of band-aids just in case you get a little cut, or you start getting a blister or a spot on your foot that you feel like you're getting a blister, and you just take these maybe loose, or more importantly, like I said, I love Ziploc bags. Very popular with hikers. I use them a lot, but I keep them a long time until they basically rip and fall apart. So what I would do is generally just put these in there. This is my first aid kit. The only item that I might suggest you also carry is something in case you begin getting a blister. There's a product called Moleskin that you can purchase at either Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, places like that. And it's basically sticky on one side and it's soft and padded on the other, and you can use that to protect an area that you already have a blister or you feel a blister. What I find myself doing now more and more is using KT tape. I like this very much. I use it in place of moleskin. I use this more often than moleskin now. I find this works better. It has excellent adhesive. Even if my skin is a little wet, it generally stays in place. Or even if I dry it off and I put this on as I hike and my foot gets hot or sweaty, the KT tape doesn't come off. Whereas the moleskin, usually I have problems. They don't usually stay on. I haven't used moleskin in years. I just find this to be a better product personally. I like this better. This will also stick much better than a Band-Aid. Band-Aids usually come off, especially when you're hot or sweaty or it's humid out during the summer. If it's raining, the KT tape generally stays in place, and sometimes I can use it for more than one day. And the only other thing that I might suggest that you might want to plan for, and I probably wouldn't carry it with me on the trail, but I would generally take it with me to the trail and use it before I go hiking, is bug spray. especially during the spring and summer months. I would want to definitely use this. And I like using a DEET type product. You can use a spray. This is Cutter, there's Repel, Deep Woods Off, or some sort of liquid. You have all the information you need to consider the gear you need to bring on your first trail. So all that's left for you to do is go out there and hike. Get your group together. You already have your trail. Get your gear together and go out there and have a good time. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know if any of these tips or suggestions or any of these videos are helping you, if they've helped you get out there and do your first hike, how it worked out for you, where you went, any funny stories, things that went wrong but still hopefully came out okay. Let me know as well. And please subscribe if you're so inclined. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Till we meet again.